first guest spot ever. Well, hey, it's been a minute. It's been a minute because I moved. Moving isn't necessarily something that I entirely planned on doing right now, but the opportunity presented itself, and I would have been a fool if I hadn't done it. But that's not the point of today's video. Tattoo guest spots. I did my first guest spot ever. 14 years of tattooing. First guest spot ever. So right after the previous shop that I was at, Blackheart Gallery, texted to let me know that the shop was being closed and that I needed to get my stuff out, I immediately started thinking of, what I could do to kind of keep making money. Bills never stop. And it just seemed like the right time, kind of a transition period, to just kind of throw caution to the wind and just do it. In the past, I had planned guest spots and different conventions, and something always came up. Something always came up that just got in the way and didn't allow it to actually happen. This time, I was determined. I was in between shops. There's no reason that it shouldn't work. So I talked to one of my friends out of state at a shop in Illinois, and we set up days, and I started planning out how I'd get there. Now, my vehicle is not the best. So I started looking around for alternative options, possibly taking a bus, going up there with somebody, just 'cause it's kind of like a mini vacation, and also tattooing while I was there. But another opportunity presented itself for me to get a motorcycle again for the first time in years. Fun fact, I actually didn't learn to drive like a car until I was almost 30. Before that, I'd just been daily driving motorcycles pretty much all the time, year round, just for years. But as I was planning out this trip up to my friend Ainslie's tattoo shop, Vintage Karma in Tuscola, Illinois, the opportunity presented itself for me to get a motorcycle again. And all of you that live in Kentucky, you may or may not know that right now, trying to get anything like registered, titled, or transfer anything through the DMV is insane. From what I'm being told, it's like a 5 to 15 week ordeal to transfer a title. So basically, I was going to be riding that motorcycle for the last little bit that registration was still valid. Got insurance on it, and I started heading up there. And I was really happy to be able to take that just for the fact that it's so much better on gas. That is the one thing that I will always miss about riding motorcycles year round, is just how much better on gas they are. Costs so much less. And of course, since it's a new bike to me, I haven't fully felt it out yet. Haven't kind of shaken out all of the issues and seen whether stuff needed to be tightened down or replaced or what all might need to be done. So I just kind of tried to put together a comprehensive toolkit, and of course, I couldn't find any regular tool rolls. Like any of you motorcyclists out there will know, just like a normal tool roll. Nothing available that I could get by the time that I needed it to be able to make the trip. So I had to go with a really expensive tank bag, which ended up working out really well, because on this motorcycle with just a tank bag and a backpack strapped to the sissy bar, I was able to make it up there. Had all of my tattoo supplies, all of my clothes, everything was in those 2 bags. Got everything set up, all the bags strapped on, go to head out, and of course, I hit rain. So I waited out what seemed like the bulk of it under the awning of a gas station that's maybe a couple of miles from the house. There was also a biker a couple pumps over doing the exact same thing. Because any of you that have ever ridden motorcycles, or even I guess a convertible with the top down, and it starts to rain, it feels like needles. It feels like 100 tiny, spiteful 5th graders snapping you with rubber bands. So I got back on the road and ended up getting all the way up to somewhere in Indiana, and happened again. And this time I got soaked. Basically hit a wall of water. But I was able to see just enough to pull off the highway and get under the awning of another gas station. Waited for a few more minutes. Sky was still dark, but I had to be on my way. So risk it and get back out on the road. And soon enough, after a couple more sprinkles, it cleared up enough, I guess, that it wasn't terrible. One thing I will say is it definitely cooled off. It cooled off the air, which was very welcome. But the next obstacle was traffic. Of course, everywhere you're going to run into just idiots that don't pay attention to where bikes are, people that try to run you off the road and car kill you, people that just aren't paying attention. They're on their phone, they're eating food, they're just looking the opposite direction for no good reason, like looking left while merging into the right lane, and just crazy stuff. That's just people. But the bad part was the detours. Everything was cut off, all the exits for a long ways. So I had to go way, way up past where I should have been able to turn, and then come around and then back down. And what was supposed to be a 4-hour ride ended up being about 10 hours. And I also neglected to remember that different time zones. So there was a time change in there. It took way longer than it should have. Way longer. But I finally got there. By the time I got there, I had a couple people who had emailed me. Ainslie at Vintage Karma had done a little bit of marketing for me to kind of drum up some business, and I was able to get back to a couple people and set up a couple of appointments. But by the end of that first day, I had pretty much the entire stay there booked up, which was awesome. Day 2, getting ready to shower, get ready for the day, go tattoo. One of my clients that booked for today apparently is kind of like sickly with COVID, and it's not going to show up, but I'm still tattooing the other one, so let's do it. Let's go do the thing. I got to meet incredible new artists that Ainslie has working up there for him. See his crazy cool shop filled with a bunch of antiques and just weird stuff. It's awesome. And you know the twins from The Shining? They're hiding in the bathroom. Don't ask questions. Just, if you're in the area, go see Ainslie at Vintage Karma in Tuscola. But I had a great time, got to do some really cool tattoos. And the last day we went to a restaurant called Black Dog Barbecue something. It was really good, really nice restaurant. But unfortunately, nothing lasts forever, so I had to say my goodbyes, got everything all packed up back on the bike, and headed back down to Louisville. And thankfully, bike didn't break down, made it back to Louisville. And by the time I was back here, I had another tattoo shop lined up to work at consistently. By the way, come see me at Pale Moon Tattoo in New Albany, Indiana. I've still got openings. And working at Pale Moon has just been a blast. Such a nice shop. Everybody is super good. And even beyond that, just really decent people. Since that previous guest spot in Illinois, I've had a couple regular customers that have moved away, and a handful of people from like TikTok and Instagram that follow me on there that have suggested shops in their areas that I might be able to guest spot at, which I would love to do. Hopefully I can get some of those set up at some point in the near future. Now that the first one's out of the way, only up from here. But until next time, if you want some tattoos, check out the contact page on my website, fill out the form to send me an email, and we can do a consult online. Definitely pick up one of my coloring books. The link is available below. And if you're a tattoo artist, I actually wrote a little booklet, kind of like a zine, on some equipment and pointers to help with photography. Because that is something that a lot of tattooers tend to struggle with, is just, it's an entirely different skill set than tattooing, obviously. So I wrote a little thing to at least show you what I know, to maybe help you out. And you can pick those up. Link down below as well. So, later y'all.